Hello YouTube, welcome to my channel. On this channel it's just going to be me getting out hiking, trekking up mountains, wild camping, perhaps wild swimming, things like that. I go out with a group of friends, but sometimes I go out solo, and that's exactly what I'm doing today. I'm heading up to the Brecon Beacons up by the 4 waterfalls, which I visited a few weeks ago, and I found a nice little spot up there with my mates, and I'm going back. I'm going to go up there and spend 3 days chilling. Anyway, I'm about to get moving. About jump in the car, load my gear up and set off. I should be there by about 2 o'clock-ish. And then another hour or two to the site, carrying about 27 kilos, I think it worked out at. Yeah, I'm going to settle in. Anyway, I will update you as we go, but I really should get moving. But just wanted to say hi before I leave for my first trip and my first real upload for the channel. And hopefully I'll have a lot of people enjoying my videos. Right YouTube, finally here. I'm in the Brecon Beacons on a 3-day solo. Not going to be hiking too much, a bit miserable weather. I'm just going to settle in and have a nice chill time. But that's the beginning of the trail up there, Dinas Rock. That's where I am, Dinas Rock. Well, I'm a bit disappointed, a bit gutted, because that looks a bit dangerous carrying nearly 30 kilos, doesn't it? So I think we'll avoid that today and go around, bash my way around this trail, part of the trail. Or maybe we'll have a go when I get back, just for a laugh, just for a giggle. But anyway, we are off. Got about an hour or so, I think, until I get to the site, maybe a little bit more. It's one we've been to before. I felt like I didn't have enough time there when I went there last time with the lads, so I'll come back just from a different car park, different route. Anyway, I don't really want to get all the camera stuff out at the moment, so I'm just filming it on my phone, but I will catch up with you later once I'm nearer the site or anything interesting, and give you an update. See you soon. Right, all went a little bit pear-shaped today. Not too badly, but I was heading down the trail to get to where I needed to be, and I needed to cross a river, which meant going underneath the big waterfall that we went under when we came here last time. However, I was unsure if I would still be able to get across. It was getting dark, it's wet, slippery. It was 5 minutes downhill and 10 minutes back uphill, so it wasn't really worth me attempting it. So I fell back a little bit, found a little bit of woodlands that I passed on the way through, and I thought it looked quite nice. Got a river right next to me, so I managed to collect some water, cooking up some grub at the moment, and having a coffee. But I didn't get to really show you my hike and setting up really. I was a bit pushed for time, and it was raining and so muddy and slippery that I didn't really want to get all my camera stuff out. So I took a few little pictures and videos on the way, but nothing great and nothing to add. So all I can do now really is show you what my little setup looks like tonight. So if I just get my torch, put it back on my head, and then I'll spin you around so you can have a look at camp. Alright, okay, here we go. There's my Covacure hammock in my OneTigris night protector. I've got a Rab 900 cent inside on top of a foam roll mat and a aluminium blanket type thing. I'm down here cooking up on my meth burner, boiling up some water I just collected and filtered, and I'm under a nice big tarp. So this is me. It's a bit damp tonight by the looks of things, but not a lot I can do about that. You know, it's a bit miserable day. I'm about to change into some drier, warmer clothes in a minute once I've got my brew on the go and had a smoke. And then hopefully tomorrow I'll be able to pack this down and make my way across that waterfall, because otherwise there's no other bloody way across, which I've worked out now. Didn't realise. Bit of a fail, but hey. Anyhow, I will catch up with you all later. So, yesterday was a bit of a write-off. I arrived at Dinas rock planning to scale up the rock itself onto the trail. However, it was really wet, really steep, really rocky, and I had 27 kilos in my backpack, which definitely was a lot. It was okay to just hike in somewhere and sit down, but if I was doing any long hikes, I would have well cut that down back to what I was before. Anyway, I wanted to bring a tent just in case the hammock failed. And as soon as I was bringing a tent, I thought I might as well, bring a few extras, help me on my way, so I can have fires and stuff like that, which is absolutely pointless because it's so wet. There's zero chance I'll ever get a fire going. So I'm out here using the meth burner and things like that to cook, but I'm all right with that. Plenty of food, plenty of water. Got a little stream next to me and a filter that I can purify the water, boil it up, and it's good to go. Last night was pretty cold, and as I was walking towards my destination where I was planning on going, it started to get dark and I hadn't quite made it as far as I'd expected to. I got to the point where I needed to cross a waterfall, one that we went under as the group Lotus back when we did the Brecon Beacons a month ago. But I knew that was quite a dodgy little crossing, and I didn't know what it would be like after all the rain and with all the water and everything. So I didn't chance going down the hill because I knew it was a long way back up, and I thought I'll cut back on myself and then drop camp somewhere quickly. And so I've ended up here, parked just off the trail, and unfortunately I didn't realise at the time there is a settlement, an old settlement ruin across the river, probably about 100 metres away. I'm not sure I'm being too invasive, and I'm here now, so I'll gladly move on if I get moved on by rangers or something, but I think I'm just going to stick here. The damage is done, isn't it, at the end of the day? I mean no harm. I'm going to take everything with me. There's, all I've done is move a couple of rocks to prop my pegs up. I don't think I've impacted the surroundings too much. I'm discreet. I'm under a camo tarp, as you can see. So I'm going to stay here. Tell me if I'm wrong in the comments. But, like I said, the damage is done. It was by accident. If I pack up and then move on somewhere else, it's going to be an absolute ball ache. Everything's soaking wet. I'm damp. Everything's damp. So I think I'm just going to enjoy this day. Might be wrong, but so be it. You can see here's my setup. I've got a camo tarp, which is only a cheapy job. Well, I'm going to have to replace it because it's not really up to the job. Where I've got it attached to the ridge line, you can see it's under a bit of strain on the eyelets from the attachments, even though it's held by the ridge line itself. So it won't last very long. Probably its last trip that I could take it out and be certain with it. So I will replace that with a DD tarp or something like that. That's the next purchase, I guess. But here on my sleep system we have a pretty cheap Hammock Covacure one off of Amazon. Costs about 20 quid, I think. I've replaced the carabiners with some lightweight carabiners I've got off of Amazon as well. That's reduced the weight quite a lot. See, on the outside I have the Night Protector Underquilt, which I only just bought the other day, and it served me well last night. It was really warm, to the point where I actually sweated in the sleep, which isn't good because I'm in a down sleeping bag. It's made it a bit clammy in there now, and I did notice when I woke up in the morning I was feeling the cold a little bit more. But I'll put on a few more layers tonight to hopefully sort of wick that away, and hopefully my heat will dry that out a little bit in the night, and it'll dry off a bit, so the morning won't be as bad. I'll have to try and vent it a little bit. But I did have the top off at one point, and it was quite warm, but then I must have got cold and pulled it on in the night, and that's how I got wrapped up. Anyway, underneath, inside the hammock, I have a closed cell foam mattress, roll mat, just a cheap job. Go outdoors, cost me about £5. And then I ordered off of Amazon a aluminium foil picnic blanket type thing, the typical things, reflect the heat off the ground anyway. Got that folded up underneath. And then my Rab Ascent 900 sleeping bag. This is the first time I've taken this out. I'd read a lot of good things about it. I ummed and ahed over a few different models, including the OEX, thinking, even if it didn't last as long because it's cheaper, I'd replace it sooner. But just a few of the read-ups that I paid attention to sort of swayed me towards spending the extra and getting the Rab, which amazingly warm and cosy. I mean, I was in there from about 9 o'clock last night, up and awake until maybe 3 in the morning, just, you know, chilling in there, watching a bit of YouTube. And I was cozy. I was cozy with the top off, like I said. No qualms. I've just got to manage my body heat somehow, I think, which, you know, I'm going to have a go tonight. Trial and error. It's the first time I had all this kit up properly, especially being the first time I've done a wild camp in pretty dire conditions towards the end of the autumn, you know, getting pretty crappy out here. But I was happy with how it performed. I'll do it again. I just probably wouldn't come as far. Anyway, I'm just sitting here relaxing. I haven't really actually sat back in my chair since I got here, and it's only about an hour ago I realised I've been sitting kind of propped up, crouching like this. It weren't very comfortable, and I was thinking, what can I do? There's not a lot I can do. It's miserable. If I go outside, there's no point of just going out of here and getting wet for the sake of it. So I kicked back a little bit and I was like, oh yeah, that's what I came out here to do, relax a little bit, innit? So I've just been sitting here chilling out and just looking out into the landscape. Really, it's quite nice. Even though the weather's miserable, you can still relax and enjoy it if you've got the right equipment. That's what I'm here to do. It's a little bit of a mind exercise for me coming out on these trips, especially the solo ones. The ones we go as a group, that's really, really good, and it really enlightens you on, you know, what's next. You can attempt things that you wouldn't normally do on your own because you've got, you have a bit of confidence of the group with you. When you're out there with other people, you don't have that you time to yourself, other than when you're in your tent, you know, which is, there's nothing wrong with it. I thoroughly enjoy what we do. You know, it buzzes me right out and it gives me something to really look forward to. But when I come out on my solos, it's just me, my equipment, and the outside. I can't ask for anything better. I think if I was given half the chance, I would probably pack up and move on to a plot of land. I just can't afford it. I'd love to build a little cob house or something like that, but I think that's a little bit out of the idea at the moment. So might as well just enjoy my wild camping, my hiking, and that's what I'm here to show you, really. I'm not an expert, I don't know anything, I'm a complete novice, but I've got a good idea. I've been camping and playing about outside for many, many years. I enjoyed growing up in the woods. I enjoyed going to Cubs, Beavers, Scouts and all of that. I enjoy fucking about making stuff in the woods with my kids, going building dens and stuff like that, and starting fires and cooking sausages and having barbecues. And yeah, I've advanced that a little bit, got my kit set up, and I'm ready to start learning and growing as a channel as well. So if you like what you see, you know, as they say on YouTube, like and subscribe please. It would be much appreciated because I don't have any followers at the moment, but I would love some. Anyway, I feel like I need a brew. I'm going to cook up a little pan of water, make a nice coffee in a minute, put my gloves on because my hands are getting a bit cold and I can't really do much with that finger at the moment since some rotter where I work decided to snap my finger when I was restraining her. But it's alright, I guess, it's just fucked. If it doesn't heal, I'm going to have a bendy finger for the rest of my life, but because I won't be able to straighten it. 6 to 8 weeks, got to remain like that without dropping ones. Nothing. Anyhow, I'm going to make my brew, try and get a bit warmer, have a think what I'm going to do next. I did just think I should probably give you a tour of camp, shouldn't I? So I brought you outside, and as you can see, down here is where my river runs. We're off that way. I can get to a little bit further up there where it's a bit rockier, near the top, climb up, get a nice bag of water so I can filter it. Now, I know it's kind of been raining a lot and everything, so I'm not just drinking it straight from the filter even. I'm actually boiling it as well, giving it a good 5 or 6 minutes boiling before I drink it. Most of them's in a brew anyway, innit, let's face it, or either that or to cook up the food, so it's getting dealt with that way. And I'll just keep my boiled leftover water in a tin canteen, like one of the army surplus ones. Comes in like actually a pocket that goes on your belt, which is quite padded and keeps it really warm for ages, like insulation. And so what I did last night is I poured a pan of boiled water into that and stuck it in my shoes to try and get some of the moisture out of them. It worked a little bit, didn't completely dry them, but they were nowhere near as wet this morning, just a little bit damp, and I'm gradually drying them off through the day. As you can see, my kitchen tap is over there, and like I said, that's just water from the river, which I attach my soil filter to the top. If you can see the tube up high at the moment, up there, sorry, yeah, up high on the ridgeline, that's just so it doesn't leak out. I'll attach the soil to that and then work that down, and it will just pour water out, just like having a kitchen tap. And you can come around here, you can see the grotto with all my kit over there. It's a bit of a shame that you know, it is as wet, because I'd like to have had it a bit more spread out, but I've got to kind of try and keep things off the floor using my backpack a bit. My little fire pit, which I was hoping to have a nice warm fire, but let's just say wrong time of the year, eh? So it doubles up for a bit of a table for me, which is also really useful. I only worked it out this morning. Last night I was trying to fit bits everywhere, try and keep it off the ground, but you know, that'll do me now. Anyway, what else would you like to see? Not that I can show you, is there really? It's just a hammock and tarp set up in the woods. Anyway, I'm going to get back inside the dry. Good morning, YouTube. Sorry about the lighting, I haven't got my light yet. Well, I've had such a cosy night in this thing. When I watch all the videos on YouTube and places like that of people who evaluate their camping gear, and they're laying in situations like this in the hammock with the underquilt on, and they sit there going, I can feel the heat radiating up my back, and I'm like, kind of like, fucking yeah, right, mate. In 2 seconds you can feel the heat radiating up your back. Alright, whatever. And then I laid my foil blanket on the floor in my tent before, and I'm like, well, where's this heat radiating up my back then? Because it didn't work for me. I mean, I felt warm, didn't feel cold, but I didn't feel no heat radiating up my back in my tent. Now, I'm in my hammock, and I've got the underquilt on, and I've got my mat and my wrap, and I really can feel the heat radiating up my back, to the point where if I lift my arm up higher than the edge of the actual underquilt, there is a stark difference. It feels like wind's blowing across you. When it's not, you're just not getting the heat radiated off you. Amazing piece of kit. Amazing. I mean, it's only 10, 11 degrees. Probably went down to about 9 degrees, 8 degrees last night. Well, that's on the weather anyway. And I am up 300 metres. Not a huge amount, but still enough. So it did get quite cold in the night. And not once was I cold. I've had the top half of my sleeping bag down, all the way down to my thighs all night, to allow some of the heat out, because it gets too hot and I get too sweaty and I make myself cold because I'm sweaty. But last night was perfect. Plenty of airflow, and I didn't sweat at all in my sleep. So the bag is nice and dry this morning. No clammy bag. I've got a break in the rain. It's been raining constantly since I got here. And I've got a break until about 9 o'clock. And to be quite honest with you, I can't be fucked to pack up yet. So I'm not. I'm going to get up in a minute, go do myself some more bacon sandwiches and a coffee. Have my little first smoky mokey of the day. We can be it like. And then I'm going to hold out, if it starts raining again, I'm going to hold out for the next break in the rain at 2, which gives me between 9 and 2 when it's miserable to get everything packed away, ready, except for the tarp. And then when that break comes, down comes the tarp, pack it away, and we are off. The big old hike back to the car, which, you know, should be fun. Should be a lot easier because it won't be as heavy. Bringing 27 kilos up here wasn't fun, but probably only got about 25 to take back. Yeah, about 25. Must have eaten 2 kilos of food. Fuel's nearly gone after today, so that won't have that weight. That was a litre of meths, nearly. I guess the only thing that's added weight is everything's damp and wet. Hopefully it won't be that significant. Anyway, I'm going to leave this here and I will bring you back once I'm up, alive and kicking. See you soon. Right, finally up. Ain't too bad today. No rain yet. It's due any minute now though. Making my brew. As you can see, the water's been on there boiling for a few minutes now. Probably give it another minute or so. And it's time to make me coffee. Look at that out there. You just cannot get better. I don't care how cold it is. As long as you've got the right equipment, you don't have to suffer. It's quite nice here. Right, I'm going to make my coffee, enjoy this and get packed up. And today, because I failed to manage to get any footage of the way here due to the rain and the conditions, it was so muddy and slippery that I just couldn't risk having the camera out in my hand all the time. Plus it would have got soaking wet. If the rain holds off today, and I can, I'm going to get some filming on the way back so you can see the journey I made to get here. It's not quite as good as the way here, but hey, it'll have to do. And I guess that's what's you can never odds without nature putting a stop to your plans, because there's several things that changed my trip this time out just because of the weather. But hey, improvision. Works amazingly well, this thing. And I got this after watching the English Woodsman. I think it was the English Woodsman on YouTube, who advised that this is one of his best meth burners. And I've got to say, I can't complain. It's pretty good. Put it out. Good stuff. Okay. Lovely jacket. Yeah. For the important bit. King size brew for a king size dude. Yeah, boy. I'm waiting for this. Do you know I can't start my day until I've had a decent cup of coffee? And if I don't have a decent cup of coffee and I try and start my day, everything goes wrong. As long as I've got coffee, everything's okay. Well, I'm going to enjoy this. Peace out. Don't know if you can see this on my camera. Got to go right through the trees. Now, just out there, right in the middle of the screen. Can't really make it out properly on this, but that's another tent. About the same height as I am. We're about, I don't know, what do you reckon? 2 or 3 miles away. So I'm all packed up, apart from the tarp. Don't worry about this. This is a little bit, I don't know, I feel a bit gay wearing it, but it's got all my camera equipment in it, and it's easy to reach. Keeps it out of the way, stops me having to put it in the pack. So I'll wear one of these. Never mind. Anyway, yeah, I'm all packed up. I've just got to get the tarp down. As you can see, it's still up. It started raining about an hour ago. A few more bits down there that I just need to put away once the tarp's folded and stashed. And then I'm going to make my way down, back down to the car park at Dinas Rock. And once I've dropped the equipment back off in the car, I might attempt to actually climb the rock, depending on how wet and slippery it is now. We'll have a look. I'm not stupid, I'm not going to go up there if it's too dangerous, but if I can, I suppose it's got to be done, innit? Wait for the rain to die down ever so slightly, still dripping off the trees. So as soon as that's stopped, I can bang off the tarp, get it folded up, stashed, and get mobile. Catch you on the way. Right then, all packed up, leave no trace. Even got me dog ends. And here we go. Still feels just as heavy. I swear I got rid of a couple of kilos worth of food and fuel at least, but hey. That way. Wet feet, first steps. Whoop. Lost it. There we go. So, got about 6 kilometre walk back to the car park. No big deal. Let's crack on. Camp was just there. One nice little spot. 2 days, 3 days to myself out there. What a beauty. So I think within the first 5 minutes or so, I've realised, even though these boots are fairly new, they've done a few miles. They just ain't waterproof anymore. They were brilliant before, the old Van Goghs, good old go outdoors, but I think I need to get something a little bit more substantial, because no matter whether I've worn gaiters, reproofed the boots or not, which I did just before we came away, still getting wet feet. The minute I stepped out of the car and started walking, wet feet. I've spent 3 days with wet feet. So yeah. Next investment, some real good boots. But for now, might as well just traipse straight through the water. I'm going to get there anyway. Let's do it. There it is. It's weren't like this before. There's so much rain. I've just been sitting in rain. At work with myself. This sounds quicker than it was. Might be getting more wet again. Nope, might be alright. A few steps. Lovely jubbly. Not bad. Definitely weren't as busy as that when I came past. And you can make that out. You can see the wind farm. So if you can hear me huffing and puffing. I'm not exactly fit. And I'm carrying shy of 27 kilos in this sort of terrain. Absolutely kills me. But we push through because we enjoy. Onwards and upwards and down again hopefully. See you in a bit. Kind of love them. When I'm on them, I hate them. Anyway, feel like I'm going to drop an lung out my backside. Slow and steady, one foot after another. But look at that. I wish I'd have made it back here when I drop camp. I'd probably be able to dry some wood. Got a fire going. Must be spooky there, doesn't it? Anyway, let's get on. So now I'm on a level. Hopefully I'll return to breathe again shortly. But it gave me a little bit of a thought. Hiking is a little bit like a Squid Game. Every step you got to choose carefully. You might just make it, and if not, you're going on your ass into the mud, as I nearly did about 10 times then. Anyway, and through there, all in. Let's go. I'm guessing hiking is where I do most of my thinking, because I've also thought back what I've already recorded so far, and I think I may have misled you a little bit when I said I was setting off and I had a 6 kilometre walk. That was the round circular there and back, so it's actually about 3. What's a kilometre or 2, eh? Any walk's a good walk. I guess there's a bit of a waterfall down there. Try and stay left. Look at the state of me. Just having a quick break. Trying to get down as quick as I can. It's hard work, because you've got to purposely pick every spot you put your feet on ground like this, honestly, because before you know it, boulders jump out at you and twist an ankle. You can't just rely on chancing it. But we're getting there. I don't think it's too long. I'm almost running down the hill, to be honest. That's why I'm sweating so much. Let's do some more. Minutes. Stupidly on the way up, I thought I could do it and collect water on the way, and then when I actually got going, time was pushing on, I was losing light, so I decided to just push on, get dehydrated and then rehydrate when I got to camp, which was cool. I managed it. A bit of a struggle, slowed me down. You never perform your best when you're dehydrated, but I didn't notice that. And look up there. Look at that wall. It's a rock climbing, bouldering type heaven. I'll have to bring my shoes and my chalk pouch up here sometime. Could be good fun. Anyway, onwards. Let's go. I want to get a brew on. And that's what I mean. Picking your spots. Long way down. In the clouds. Oh, cool. A view. Sounds like a big waterfall at the bottom. No time to visit that one today though. Just want to get going. Get home washed up, dried up and chilling. Got a 3.5 hour drive when I get back to the car. So probably stop at Mackie D's. Get my usual celebratory milkshake or McFrap. Gotta love them, innit? McFrap. Caramel one. I don't have the cream. I like to think it makes it a diet frap if I do that. Still have the caramel sauce because I'm a little bit saucy like that. But yeah, I reckon they're one of the best cold drinks you can buy for £1 or £2, served from somewhere like that. Always it's my spot anyway. Cold drip down the back. Lovely. We're doing good. Dinas Rock, 0.5 kilometres that way. That is a long way down. There's some big splashes at the bottom. I need to come back to this bit and have another look. It's absolutely stunning. You just get left alone. There's no one around. You might see the odd people out having a walk, walking a dog or something. They generally say hello and move on, leave you to it. I guess it all depends how discreet you want to be. If you hide yourself away, no one's going to find you. Like when we came there about a month ago with Lotus Group, we didn't see one person once we were camped up. It's only when you're out on the trails. And everybody tolerates it. No one said a thing about my setup or where it was, especially me. Maybe they didn't know, but I knew there was that settlement there once I saw it after I'd set up. But again, just like to add, leave no trace. I did a quick sweep once we left, even with dog ends and bits of Rizzler. Anyway, Let's talking, let's get on with it. I believe I'm coming up to the last bit of descent. So I'm going to put you in my right hand. It's a pretty gnarly section this. Coming up it was bad, it weren't nowhere near as wet. So you're in my right hand, and when we get a bit further down and I'm on rocks, there's a handrail. So I'll use that to hold on. But it might be a bit unsteady. Anyway, enjoy the ride. Here's the handrail. Oh, fucking hell. It's not easy. Look how slippery those rocks are. Not running down this bit, that's for sure. Right. 3 points of contact. Let's go. I'm gonna get a wet hand. Fuck it. At least I won't get a dent in my head. I'm holding on with a crappy hand. And a dodgy finger, so I'll probably just slip off it in anyway. Might just steady me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to attempt the big rock. Just looking at this, I mean, look at it. I mean, it's not mossy, it obviously gets walked on. But I guess I'm asking for trouble and I shouldn't really. My loved ones would be pissed off if I chanced it. Although my kids would probably think it's cool, but they have no perception of the danger involved with it, I should think. And as one of them dads, I do like to do things to please my children. But another day. Right. I'm on my own now. Wasn't too bad. Didn't fall, didn't die. Lots of water splashing both sides of us now, that side and up over that rock. But I can safely say I'm nearly there. Because I remember coming up this, it's the first thing I had to do. It's quite exciting actually, coming up here. Different than the normal trail. A bit more technical. And surprisingly, I handled 27 kilos quite well. I mean, it was tough. It was tough. But I did it, and I didn't feel completely exhausted by the time I got there. Yeah, it was slower than I expected, and that's probably why, because I had near on 30 kilos on my back and was dehydrated. But this is obviously the warm down walk to the car park. Just in the background, you should see my car if it hasn't been towed. There it is, the beast, the maroon Focus, courtesy of my boss and good friend Mr. Pauskek. I hope I said that right without the growl at the end. Anyway, there she be. I'm gonna get back to the car, unpack everything, or offload everything should I say, get my cooker out, put a brew on, make some water, because again did the whole trek without getting my water bottle out, just to get it done and dusted. But that, ladies and gentlemen, on YouTube is my 3 days out in the Brecon Beacons on my own, solo wild camp and hike, carrying 30 kilos, well shy kilo, 27 kilos. It was a hammock and tarp setup as you just seen, and I now have 3.5 hour drive home, so I'll just rest my feet a little bit, refresh and get going. Thank you for watching everybody, See you next time.